Gaming Will 896, a YouTuber you may not know about. Well, you don't need to know about him, since we are gonna be talking about one of his games he posted in Julian's Editor. If you don't know what Julian's Editor is, it is a free mobile game engine which has made some mediocre at best games. They are pretty cheap looking and not very fun. Anyways, back to Gaming Will 896's Julian's Editor. He made several builds for a game by the title of Ball Guy, The Rolling Quest. It was a game where you can play as one of three Downs siblings, Ball Guy, Ball Dude, and Ballerina. The game was shit from a critical perspective, but I found it pretty fun knowing that it was a tribute to his Ball Guy video series turned into a game. Well, what is so creepy about all this, you may ask? Well, the game was never finished and the last build of the game was uploaded in December 27, 2023. I wondered why development stopped on the game. Well, let me tell you, on the night of January 17th, 2024, I found the disturbing answer. I was looking around Julian's Editor when I saw a build that read, Ball Guy, The Rolling Quest Final Build. I was so excited to finally play the full game, but something looked a bit off. The thumbnail was different. I checked the previous build's thumbnails and they were different. The characters didn't look as happy and cheerful as they were in the previous thumbnail. Ball Guy had his arm down and had his mouth closed. Ballerina was lower down with a plain expression and pose in her face instead of excitement. Ball Dude looked the same. Oh, and Ball Guy's rival, looked more angry and was way more in the shot. I must have been overanalyzing. I loaded into the game. The title screen looked the same, but it said 2024 instead of 2023, since this build was made in 2024. I pressed start and immediately realized there was full voice acting in his final build. Ball Guy said, I always keep a spare arm behind my house. It sounded like the same that provided his damage sounds in previous builds. I thought it was cool and walked around and listened to the NPCs voices. Other than that, the game was near identical, until I got up to the partly cloudy level, where it ended with a portal sending you to a fight against a very savage looking girl. The game said it was Ball's sister. I fought her off and tried to get out of the level. Then Ballerina's voice actor said, "What are you waiting for? Send me down." I saw there was an opening in the clouds of the level. I jumped down in. I heard her scream really loudly. It almost broke my headphones and made me deaf. Then cut to a shot of Ball eating what looked like Ballerina's dead corpse. He had oil all over his body, since they are Ball/robot hybrid. He then started laughing like a serial killer. Jesus fucking Christ, Gaming Will 896. What is wrong with you? I assumed she must have fell into a trap Ball made that killed her, but that is some sick shit. I know this game had weird scenarios where you can end up with a character dying, but this is off the deep end. Then I was playing as Ball Guy in a ceremony with his brother Ball Dude and one of the new characters introduced in this game, Claire. I walked around as Ball Guy with the other two following me. I walked and found an extremely heavily mutilated corpse of Ballerina laying in the dirt. Ball Guy spoke, "Be Ballerina. Ballerina. No. Why?" Again I had to turn down the volume for how loud he spoke. Claire spoke after him, "No, no, 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 no." It awkwardly transitioned to an area where she was an infant laying in a crib with two voice actors arguing. Here I'll give you a transcript. "Mom. Moo. Honey, all I wanted was for you to get this job, Dad. Well, you're too late." And all I heard after that was violent death screams and gunshots. From what I gathered from this was that it was a flashback and Slim Jim, Claire's dad, killed her mother when she was an infant. Jesus, this dark. After that horrific flashback, it cut back to the title screen, where it looked a bit different. The characters looked like they were holding back their tears. Ball Guy was fake smiling, having tears in his eyes, with a lot of pain in face. Bald dude was exactly the same, still smiling and making a jelly bean pose, and ballerina was replaced by player in her place looking confused in her position. The button text was also red, so I clicked started and the game loaded into a very destroyed version of Bollywood, Bald Guy's hometown, and the characters looked, how do I phrase this right? Distorted, I guess. Their limbs were slimmer and their eyes were stretched down a bit more. The biggest noticeable thing was that they were no longer smiling. The corpses of other NPCs were on the ground, telling me in a horrifying way to go to the school for a surprise haha. I walked to the school area to be met with Paul in the hallway, but something about the way he looked very uncanny. He had no eyes, very deformed horns on his head, and giant teeth, and he looked more like a hexagon rather than a ball. I approached him and he said finally decided to confront me. You killed my sister, didn't you? Snapped Bald Guy. You finally realized it, that I ate her dead corpse, didn't you? Said Paul in a confident tone. Fuck you, asshole. I hope you rot in hell like your parents did. Bald Guy snapped, which was very out of character for him to say something like this. I was shocked. And that I'll decapitate you all. Paul said, now angry. I ran as Bald Guy out of the school, but Bald Dude and Claire didn't make it. When I got out of the school, I heard sounds of a teenage girl and guy dying faintly due to Paul decapitating them. Bald Guy then broke down in tears and started screaming like his voice actor was actually held at gunpoint during the recording process of this. It took me back to the title screen, now very dark and empty. Bald Guy looked in terrible shape. His eyes were falling off his body and his limbs, and he was a darker red and was ripped a little bit as well. The copyright text said, 666. Satan. I pressed lock. I presumed lock was the start button, and loaded into an even more destroyed Bollywood. Then Bald Guy said in a very weak voice, I always keep a knife behind my house and I don't need you guiding me there this time. I can't take another step without my friends and family. I was confused and scared, but Bald Guy Otto walked behind his house and proceeded to stab himself multiple times before dying on the ground. It then rolled the end credits and the music sounded like it was from the gates of hell. The credits rolled with names I never even heard of, and at the end, it showed a screenshot of all 4 people being eaten by Paul. The game ended. Holy shit, was that? I thought the previous builds were dark, but this takes it to a whole new level. When I pressed the exit button, the act crashed. I reloaded the act and that build was gone. I am not surprised. It was Julian. This editor has strict community guidelines. And here I am talking about what I saw with you today. I never look at the previous builds when I replay them again. This has been a scary experience, and I hope you never go through it. Take care, everyone.